You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Mick, Alex, I Yield to No One,
Steve.
And Sid.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Wars. This is episode 540. I'm your host, Tricky Mick. Alongside with me, the man, the myth, and the legend. It's Alex.
It's really nice for a change to have a real New Yorker on this show.
Oh, fuck you.
Actually, I'm upstate, so I'm not exactly real.
He brings the awesome. It's I Yield to No One.
I'm going to win my fantasy league game.
You guys are doing fantasy again? I wasn't invited this year.
You don't play.
Well, I
you
did,
tried to make us play fantasy hockey that one year.
and you guys all failed. And our guest, he is the master of the backlog beatdown scoring, who's made some very controversial calls, and I don't agree with him, but it's JT.
Hey, what's up?
All right.
I reported you for fuel in SOCOM.
Say again?
I reported you for fuel in SOCOM.
Oh, so you're the bastard that did it, huh?
Oh, I didn't know
It
he was
was
going to
a
bring it up
while
this
ago.
soon. JT, you didn't tell me. I didn't know that was what we were leading off with because I knew he had told me that he was going to address this on the show he was coming up on. I didn't know he was going to come out of the gate and just rip the Band-Aid off.
Oh, so you just left me to be, bombarded and,
Look, man, I like I said, I didn't know when he was going to do it, but also this is JT's story to tell. This is not mine to tell. I'm not a narc.
You told me if you had told me straight off the get-go that you did fuel and you said that you didn't do fuel, I probably wouldn't have reported you. But you said that you didn't do fuel. I looked it up on your account through the search bar that was conveniently released at that time. And there it was, 2-minute timestamps. So I reported.
yeah, I said because it showed like I hacked it, but I did not hack it. Something happened with that.
Oh, I also keep in mind that this was actually like 2016 when I reported. You had those trophies hidden for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
I was a totally different. I was not in a great mental state. I will.
All right, hold on. JT, you're going in and out on your microphone. That's much better.
Oh, hold up. It might be because
Are you using the wrong microphone?
I might be. But that was the reason why. Yeah, I'm using the wrong microphone.
As long as Audacity's using the right one, we're good.
It is.
Okay.
It's using the right one. It's
All right.
coming up.
So I've addressed this on the show before. Yes, fuel looks like I hacked it, and so does SOCOM. And I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and defend myself again, but I can tell you legit, I did not hack either one of those games.
Well, I know it was accidental, and most of the people that are removed for that are because there are accidental hacks, and the site even says that you can get removed for those. Like an example, Call of Duty World at War. They say that you should do your research before you start the game, because if you go into a public lobby of Call of Duty World at War, you will how should I say, you will get removed because the hacked servers, somebody else hacks it for you. You there's nothing you can do about it. So.
All right, so let's get into the show proper. As you guys saw on,
Oh, here it is.
Okay. Is that better?
that's much better.
Yeah. I was looking for it. Yeah, it was the wrong headset for that. I got the right one on Audacity.
Okay. So let's get into the show proper. Let's do our updated trophy counts. I am level 684, total trophies of 16,812 with 373 platinums. I have a new one. Alex.
That's really great, Tricky, but you know what's better than one new platinum?
Uh-huh.
2 new platinums.
That you cheated to get one of them.
No,
Well,
not at all.
I
Everyone was against you on that, so
I know everybody's against me. I know
all
I'm in
right,
the,
all right.
I'm,
Well,
I know I'm in the
let me just
minority.
say I'm a type of person who will say that anything that is allowed on PSN profiles is not a hack.
All right, so Alex.
Because it's called whitelist cheating. If it's whitelist, it's okay. So what he did was within the guidelines of PSN profiles and the achievement hunting community. So
Okay, but
it's allowed
my-
in my book.
my point is, because I'm a proponent to get your trophies any way you get your trophies outside of hacking them. I'm not saying that Alex hacked. My point is that Alex likes to hold himself up to esteem, his trophy list being all honorable, and to me, what he did to get some of those trophies is not honorable. That was my point.
no, everything is still honorable because look, I tried to play this is why I bought the collections, right? Because I wanted to experience either of these games for the first time or I wanted to play through them again. So, if I'm going to try to play through every game. Problem is, some games are not really well developed. They're poorly conceived. They're not fun to play. Even heard Sid say on last week's Sophie's Trophies that without the God mode or Infinite Lives, he wouldn't have fun with some of those games. So I tried to play all of them, and some of them are just bad games. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with this. I'm going to do what I need to do. But I played through 10 of the 13 games all the way. I've beaten Turtles 2, so before the arcade game for the NES. So I've essentially played all through 11 of the 13, and the original Turtles game and the Turtles Fighter for NES, the Tournament Fighters, are bad games. So I tried, and they were crap, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to play through them to that headache. So
all right.
you can say what you want, Tricky, but to me, everything on my end is still legit.
All right, well, finish your trophies.
I all that time, you want to start some shit, and I took myself off the trophy list.
Just
JT, did you have something you want to add?
no, I was saying that I just want to hear the platinums. I think we all know what went down with Facebook with this whole thing.
Oh, so I am level 463, total trophy count of 88,116 total trophies. I think I said total trophies.
Yes.
Twice, but total trophy count of 8,116, a platinum count of 129 in 128 games, 2 new platinums this week, Cowabunga Collection, and It Takes Two.
There we go. That's
right.
what I wanted to hear.
Yield.
So
479. Go ahead.
I was going to ask JT, did you give me credit for the Cowabunga Collection? Because I don't think you ever saw it.
No, I don't think I did see it. I think I just saw arguments about it, and that was it.
Arguments about it.
I mean, that's what it was to me. It just felt like arguments, like pointless arguments that, quite honestly, it's allowed, so it's not hacking. To me, it just, whether you think it's honorable or not, it doesn't matter to me.
I know. All right, Yield, your trophy, sir.
Level 479. Trophy count of 8763 and a platinum count of 156.
Sid is level 698 with total trophies of 15,954 with 444 platinums. JT?
Wait, why does it say four? Is he hiding trophies?
I don't know. Why?
Because it says 439
Where does it say 439?
on PSN profiles.
I can go back.
Maybe he hasn't updated it yet because I checked it off of his off the PlayStation.
I'm just looking at his gamer card on the screen.
Oh, he might. You know what? Hold on. Let me.
Did he do some?
No. I updated the trophies this week and I put him on.
Yeah.
I took him off the dock that I was gonna tell everybody about that.
Right.
That might not have updated. So
That isn't working very well.
Okay, well, I'm going to address that in a minute. Just, JT, what are your trophies, sir?
I got 8,943 trophies, 371 platinums, level 620, 90.07 completion ratio.
Oh, I was going to ask about that because I want to hear about the completion ratio because that's the real golden goose right there.
All right, before we get into completion, I just looked up Sid's profile on PSN Profiles. He does have 444 platinums.
Okay, I was just confused about that because it did say.
I didn't. I'm updating the trophies now on the Twitch, but for some reason, it didn't pop up. All right. So before we get into completion conversation, because I knew we were going to have this kind of conversation. For anybody that doesn't know, in the Facebook group, I posted a new leaderboard, which is
Should call it trophy tracker.
I've got a lot of feedback saying we shouldn't call it a leaderboard, we should call it a tracker, blah, 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 blah. It's basically a list of everybody, all the hosts, and every guest that's been on the show, or a future guest, which was questioned by Yield last night because he didn't know who the hell one guy was.
Well, I get this email talking about some kind of party, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I figured he was a guest, or they were a guest, but I'm like, what?
All right, so combined. Okay, the guest that Yield is referencing, his online name is Olive Party. So when we booked the guest, I put it on the Google Calendar and I sent out an email letting these guys know that, hey, we got this guest on this date, blah blah blah. Blah. So Yield got an email saying
an invite to an Olive Party, and I'm like, what the hell?
So we're gonna have Olive Party on in October. But Olive Party is actually the person that helped me come up with the Trophy Wars leaderboard. Now,
you know, when Olive Party does come on, you got to make sure there's endless breadsticks and bottomless salad.
Yes.
That's not. That's
Who is Olive Party?
That's Olive Garden.
I mean, Olive Garden. Who is?
But it still could be an Olive Party with Olive Garden.
Yeah, it could.
Okay.
Very well could.
Or you got to have plenty of martinis.
Come on, Tricky. I thought you were a real Italian. You should know Olive Garden.
Yeah, but no self-respecting Italian. No self-respecting Italian goes to Olive Garden.
Oh no, we don't.
I believe JT is authentic Italian. I don't believe for a second Tricky Mick is Italian.
JT just confirmed.
No, it's not good Italian. It's not good. Like,
oh no. I mean, I've been.
Tricky Mick is correct. It's pretty bad.
Oh no, whenever I haven't been to an Olive Garden in probably well over a decade because I refuse to go stand outside for an hour and a half to 2 hours on a wait list to go eat at some damn Olive Garden. Like, I just won't do it. There's better restaurants I could walk into and get some food right away.
Matt G says in the chat Olive Garden is McDonald's. Matt G in the Twitch chat says Olive Garden is McDonald's Italian.
I definitely read. I was like, it is definitely McDonald's.
And apparently, Nitro came with waking up choosing violence today because he says hockey's boring, and then Matt J responded by, "You take that back." I don't even know how we got that reference or that.
Well, Nitro's not wrong.
I hate you. I really hate you because you and your brother both said you were willing to give hockey a chance.
I did give it a chance until they took away the glowing puck.
That was back in the 90s.
You don't like the random fighting that happens in game?
That's the one thing I like about hockey.
Okay,
they'll just throw down.
That's like the best part.
They throw down and it's like, okay, everybody go to your box for 5 minutes and come back out and everything is resolved.
Here's a penalty. You're out of the game.
You can do it again.
But for a little comparison, that's like watching a NASCAR race for the crashes. Like, how much time are you going to have to sit through just to wait for
It's a lot more common in hockey, though.
Oh, yeah, hell of a lot more.
Like, you might not get a crash in NASCAR, but you're definitely going to get a fight in hockey.
The crash in NASCAR comes unexpected, but if you're really watching the game, you can see the guys lining up, talking to each other. It's like, all right, when the puck drops, throwing down the gloves, yeah, okay, and then you'll see it. It happens. You can see it coming.
You know when the action's gonna when somebody's gonna smack someone in the face.
So
in hockey, it's
all right.
Pretty telling.
Look, Tricky. If you want to talk about throwing down, let's talk about the Kentucky Wildcats football team going into the swamp and beating the Florida Gators.
Who cares about college football?
26-16.
Who cares about college football?
I do.
You want to sit there and make fun of Yield and Homer and everyone from Ohio for being Ohio State fans. So, you
No,
you obviously care.
No. See,
No,
okay.
I don't think he was. I think it was more of he was more trying to make a point about hockey than. Are you talking about stuff that happened in Facebook?
No, we have a group chat. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't troll Ohio State to pick on Yield, because Yield is an Ohio State fan, but he's not obnoxious with it. Homer is extremely obnoxious with it. Okay, so that's why I troll Homer. Okay, I mean no disrespect towards Yield, because Yield, like, I honestly, and I'll say this publicly, I don't give a shit about college football. I really don't. But it's fun to troll Homer with it. Now, Homer is just obnoxious with it. But he's not just obnoxious with Ohio State. He's obnoxious with everything. The Giants. I don't even know what his favorite baseball team is. Is it the Reds?
Yeah, the Reds.
Okay.
Which they suck. We know that.
Okay. But when it comes to Ohio State, he is extremely obnoxious with it. And I get it. But those are the type of fans, you want to know how bad it is, Yield, with Homer? He's almost as bad as a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Uh-oh, you're going to get him going now.
Tricky, I don't know why
he hates the Cowboys.
I do too.
Tricky, I don't know why you have to look down on the college football teams. Most of the college football teams, or a lot of them, could probably beat the New York football pro teams any day of the week.
No. Again, my dislike for college football has nothing to do with the actual teams. I don't have the ability to care about it, because most of those players are not going to go anywhere. Let's be real. Not a majority of them are not going to make it to the pros. And then when they do make it to the pros, how many washouts do we have?
A lot.
So I don't have the capacity to care about college football, because one, I don't have a team that like my alma mater. So I have no loyalty, no skin in the game there. Then once they make it to the pros, then I'll start caring about them. But again, how many of them wash out? Like Johnny Manziel was.
You do realize how many pro teams there are and how many players there are on a pro team, and also how many rounds to the draft there are, to the point where even the most ardent of football fans they don't care by the end of it, because my God, this is just picking whoever. I don't even recognize these people. So where do you think the feeder system is for a lot of the NFL? It comes mainly from college football in America,
and that's fine. But I just don't have the capacity to care about players that I'm gonna forget about come next year, because and let's be real, most of the college football guys that you should even give a shit about, they're only going to be on that team for a year. So why am I going to start to invest in an athlete that in a year later is going to say, well, fuck it, I'm good enough, I'm going to the pros?
I think the biggest thing for you is there's not a great New York college football team, and that's you have, like you said, you have no skin in the game, because there's no alma mater for New York or a school that you went to. Like I went to UK, so you don't care, which is why there's no pro team in Louisville or Lexington or any of Kentucky. So my alma mater, UK, is the one I'm going to root for the most, because no offense to Yield, but I'm not going to jump on the Cincinnati bandwagon just because they're the closest team. To me, that's the same as Chicago or something. They're not in my state, so why do I care?
All right. Nitro in the chat says, bullcrap. Homer's not obnoxious. College football is way more interesting than hockey. And then he says, I sense a sacrifice will be coming up soon, which I don't know what that means either. All right, can we get back to this leaderboard?
He did say that he chose violence.
So, going back to this leaderboard, because we got derailed hardcore. Okay, so as Yield said already, the leaderboard does have some hiccups. The problem is that what this leaderboard does is it shows you how many bronze trophies, how many silver trophies, gold, platinum, your trophy level, your total trophies, and your completion rate. And all you have to do at the end of it is just put your PSN profile link to it, and it automatically generates the information. The problem with this is that it's pinging way too much. So on a lot of categories, you're getting a loading, which it's trying to pull the data, but it's got to go through a process, and it's got to go in the queue, and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it takes a while. Right now, there's only two categories that are loading, and that is Yield and Alex's platinum trophies. But what it does is once everything's loaded in that particular category, it shows you the leader of that particular column. So right now, I put a random person on here that's number 1 in the world in trophies. So he's going to be...
Oh, yeah, of course.
So he's going to have the lead. But he doesn't have the lead in one category, and that's a longtime fan of ours, Trophy Chief, who, you'll get this, has a completion rate of 100%. 100%.
That is some let's be real.
Whoa. Okay, let me see this. I need. Where do I go for this? Is it pinned? Is it pinned?
Right now, he's showing up. Yes, it's pinned at the top of the Trophy Wars group. But if you look at the Skype chat, I'll put the link there for you.
Jesus, he has 100% completion ratio. What the?
Well, I mean, let's say that. I mean, yes, that could be very impressive based on the games that you play.
Wait. He has 1,266 platinums. So this could be telling here.
Yeah, but you could easily curate a list that's easy platinums. Like, so 100%.
Yeah, he's doing that. He is doing that. I'm seeing it right here. He only has 31 ultra rares out of 1,266. He is just an easy Andy. So he's gonna get the.
Some other notables. The number 1 in the world has 99.23%. Murdered 615, who is a member of our community, he has 87%. Blind Mango, who is a member of PSN Profiles, also has been on the show. He has a 93.29%.
Yes.
JT is currently sitting at
90.07.
Trisha, who's killing it in platinums, she has an 88.17%. And currently right now, I have a 53.4. Alex, you have an 86.82. And Yield, you have a 67.52.
Why the hell is Hakum in United States of America? That makes no sense to me. What the hell is...
He's cheating, so I don't care. All right, so,
what's
yes.
wrong with that?
If you want to be added to this leaderboard, all you got to do is shoot me a message somehow, some way, and I will add you on there. But it does keep tracks. But yes, it is a little buggy. It was made with the spirit of it was made to help Yield get the trophies every week. But it's a little buggy right now. And until me and I'll probably figure out a way to make it stop pinging so much, it's going to be a little buggy. But it does pop up. It just takes some time. And
that's what she said.
100% completion is still really
nothing to.
It's still really impressive. I can't get 100% completion anymore because I got some discontinueds with Metal Gear Solid 5, PS3, and Killzone Shadowfall. I can't get those anymore.
All right.
Yeah, I'm way past that point too, because I mean I've got a really impressive completion rating there with my original profile, but I go back and look through my trophy list. PS5, PS4, I'm doing really well, and you go back to the days of the PS3.
There's probably quite a lot that you are missing. That you're missing.
Oh yeah.
Well, games like War for Cybertron, the Transformers game, on the PS3, that I just rented. There's a lot of games on there like Rage or something that I just rented and never got the platinum trophy. And I go back and look at some of the Resident Evil games like 5 and 6, and I just didn't play some of the extra modes they added after I got the platinum trophy. And
aren't the servers still up for those?
I mean, they might be.
They're still up. You could boost those.
Yeah, I mean, I would need some help with that, but I mean, so I mean, most of my folly is on the PS3 because I wasn't at that point super adamant about my 100%. Like if I just couldn't get or didn't want to get a platinum in a game, I just didn't go for anything. Now I'm like, oh, I want all my completion I can get, but. Man, back in the day, I wish Alex now could impart my wisdom on Alex back then on the PS3, because it'd be like, look here, you little son bitch, get them 100%.
All right, JT, did you ever give your trophies? I'm sorry.
I gave my trophies, but we didn't do what we're playing yet, right?
No, we're going into what we're playing right now. JT, we'll let you start off. What are you playing, sir?
So I'm not really a trophy hunter anymore. I'm a completionist, but I play on like multiple places. So currently I'm playing Mass Effect 1 on Legendary Edition on Steam. and I'm playing on PlayStation Tales of Arise, which is something I really wanted to complete on. That's been sitting at 4% since October on my account, so I was like, I'm gonna knock that out.
Anything else? Or is it just Mass Effect?
In terms, I'm also playing Final Fantasy 13 for Steam, and Soul Hackers 2, and that came out. I started it, but I didn't. I decided to do something that came out last year that I had started. So.
All right. Yield,
but Soul Hackers 2 is nice, just not the best.
Yield, what about you, sir?
So I've been playing some World of Warship Legends because it was Doubloon Week. A little bit of Rocket League, a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic, a little bit of Helldivers, some Lego City Undercover, some Maneater, which I'm disappointed that I hit max level before I was even halfway through, or max shark size before I was even halfway through the game.
Yeah, but then you're just God mode for the rest of the game, and you just feel amazing.
Pretty much, I maxed out at 30, and I'm like, oh, I must have to advance the story before I can, keep growing. So I kind of advanced the story, and then all of a sudden I got the trophy for Elder and Mega all at once, and I was like, oh, full size already. Okay. I've been playing some Zombie Army 4 Dead War, a little bit of Rocket League, and some Rayman Legends, which I am in my last 1,000 points. I'm like within 600 points, I think, of having my last trophy in the platinum for that, for my awesome level.
All right, Alex.
So obviously I mentioned my 2 platinums this week. It Takes Two and the Cowabunga Collection. Cowabunga Collection capped it off with Turtles in Time for the SNES, which still holds up amazingly well for a game that is 31 years old. It just stands the test of time, timeless game that, until this year was the best Turtles game ever made. But really great job by Konami on that collection. And I actually found another Konami collection on the PSN this week for sale for $4, which is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which includes the first 3 games on the NES, the Super Castlevania 4 on SNES, Castlevania Bloodlines from the Genesis, Castlevania Adventure, Kid Dracula, and then one other game, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge or something like that. So fortunately, no platinum trophy, but you do get essentially trophies for beating all the games, and a gold trophy for beating everything all together in the collection. And for me, it's nice to have, like the old Turtles games, nice to have access to these games on my PlayStation 5 if I ever want to go back and play the first Castlevania, because it's really one of the first games that I ever played. I got a hand-me-down at NES from my brother, and there were a lot of games that came with that. The Super Marios, Mega Man 3, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but also Castlevania was one of the games. And even though those games are punishingly hard, they're still to me they're still
They're fun to play.
They still hold a special place in my heart. I love one of my favorite levels in any video game is the opening level to the first Castlevania. You go outside and you walk into the mansion and you're going through the halls of the castle, and you all of a sudden you're fighting the ghost and you get to the vampire bat. Love that level. The music in Castlevania is fantastic. Again, Castlevania games are hard because the platforming, you as a character have really shitty movement and really awful platforming. We know all about the Medusa. If you grew up during that time, you know about the Medusas and the hallways and the pitfalls. You're going through the second level of the first Castlevania and you got to deal with all these Medusa heads knocking you off the platforms, which is really annoying. And just stuff you're trying to crouch to attack an enemy, but then you end up going downstairs instead, or you're trying to go upstairs or downstairs and you walk off the platform. So, those games, they're not, you don't think they're going to be difficult because killing the enemies isn't super hard, but then you get into the platforming aspects of it and it's extremely hard. So, but like the Cowabunga Collection, being able to relive those games is something I'm really glad I get to do, especially for $4. That's a steal there. So I will go ahead and call this out before Tricky even tries. So on this trophy list, there are you have to beat Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse 4 times. Okay, nothing changes about the game, nothing about difficulty. You basically have to go through as Trevor on your own, and then throughout the adventure, you pick up spirits of characters, 3 spirits, Grant, Sifa, and Alucard, that you can use to help you along your adventure. You have to beat the game with Trevor, and then each one of those spirits in tow when you're fighting Dracula. So you have to beat the game 4 times. So I beat the game once, and now what I'm doing is there's a workaround where you can put in the final code to go to the final level and just fight Dracula again, and get the trophies for those. So I beat the game once, proved I could do it, and I'm not going to go through the exact same thing 3 more times just to prove I can do it or just to waste my time. So Tricky, before you call me out for anything, I'm the next 3 times I'm just using the code to go to the end because I've already beaten the game. But yeah, love Castlevania. It Takes Two, fantastic game. Worthy of Game of the Year. I posted some of our favorite pictures from Ashley and my playthrough the other day on Trophy Horrors on the Facebook page, and it seems like a lot of people, if they hadn't started, like I think Sid, he said he and Mandy were starting to play it, and that Mark Duplex really wanted to start playing it. A phenomenal game. If you got someone to play with and play co-op, preferably a spouse, a family member, a close friend, like that's the best way to play that game. But it is a very imaginative, very cute, charming game. So I'm really glad we finally gave it a playthrough. So yeah, and Rocket League, as kind of the Rocket League Thursdays have fallen by the wayside, and looking at the rewards for this season's season pass, I think this is my time to take a break from Rocket League, because the season pass this time, the rewards aren't super enticing, and just playing that game recently hasn't been fun. Just like, you'll do your part and you'll cover your ass, but like you'll be playing with randoms online who just don't seem like they know what they're doing. It's just not a fun experience anymore, and I wonder if it's degraded over time because of going free to play and because you've given entry to other people, just anybody who wants to pick up the game. And so I've gotten really frustrated with the game, so you're probably not going to hear me talk much about Rocket League for the next 3 months, because I just, 1, don't like the rewards for the season, and 2, am not having a lot of fun playing the game. If I'm playing with, Nitro or Riley or Homer or Yield or Gareth, that's one thing. But, playing just on a random night with other people just isn't fun. Is this the way people experience multiplayer with randoms? Because this is not for me.
Oh, yeah.
But a very great...
Oh, yeah.
A very great...
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Great week in gaming for me. 2 platinum trophies. And closing in, I'm going to, probably before the next show, or definitely before the next show, I will get the collection trophies for the Castlevania collection. So more points for me. JC's going to be giving me more points in the backlog beatdown. And really all I care is that I get more points than Tricky this year, when he actually has to do things legit.
Wait. So I'm just confused. What? I heard my name, so what do you...
He's saying you're going to give him more points when he platinums the Castlevania collection.
No, there's no platinum when I get that final gold trophy for beating all the collection.
Oh, sorry.
Well, the thing is that if there are no, like, if it's not like Sonic Origins or the new Cowabunga collection, and there is no fast forwards, there is no any of that, I will be giving points per game, because
I will say, JT, that I'm going through all the games legit, but like, because like there are the passwords you can use on the NES or SNES versions of these games, you can use in this game, so you can skip to the end.
Cool. You can still use the old school codes?
He said that because, like, he said that 5 minutes ago, Yield.
Because like I said, like, you have to beat Castlevania 3 4 times. No difficulty change, nothing like that. So I beat the game once, through completely the first time, and then the other 3 times I'm just going to use the code to zip to the final level, because the game's exactly the same, and it's just time at that point.
But that's time you're supposed to put into the game.
Oh, bullshit, Tricky. You would do the same thing. If you had to play the exact same game 4 fucking times, you would do the exact same thing. All bronze trophies, who cares?
Negative.
Bullshit.
You're full of shit.
Negative.
Oh, no, so JT,
I get called out for so much shit that I because I play shitty ass games for platinums. And you guys, you gotta be honorable. You gotta be honorable. You're disappointing me lately.
No, you can take it and shove it up your ass, Tricky, because, again, it's the same game 4 times. It's just time. And I've proven that I can beat Castlevania 3. So if I have to beat it 4 times, the other 3 times, I'm going to use codes.
Donnie would be disappointed you that he had to
Donnie wouldn't be disappointed.
He had to.
So JT,
I think he would. But
he has to play
Donnie.
Metal Gear 8 times to get that platinum. You're talking about 4 times, half the time.
Well, that's because if Donnie had a code.
but the thing is that wait a minute, is that even a platinum? The Castlevania game that you're talking about?
No, there's no platinum.
Wait, let me look this up.
While JT's looking that up.
Wait, which Castlevania is it? Just tell me.
Castlevania Anniversary Collection that came out in 2019. No, JT, there's no platinum trophy. Essentially, if you beat all the games or all the requirements, you get a gold trophy. There's no platinum to this game, like the Cowabunga Collection.
Well, here's what I see. I see that the rarest trophy is holy shit. The rarest trophy is 12.07, so it's pretty decent in difficulty, is what I'm saying. It's not like extremely hard, but it's hard enough.
No, so I mean, like what I'm saying is, I think for this collection, because you can go to the zip to the end if you want to, not on all the games, but on some of the games, I'd say 2 points. One because it came out in the past in 2019, and one because you did the collection. That's all I would expect.
And how many games are in here? 3?
No, there is the original. There is 2, 3, 4 on the SNES, Bloodlines on the Genesis. There is Kid Dracula, Castlevania Adventure, and then another one which I believe is Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. So I think there's 8.
Okay, so I'm not really sure about these particular collections. There are probably a few games that I would give +2 for, but I don't know the timings on the other ones, so I guess I can look that up.
I mean, like Castlevania 3 will take you an hour and a half. I mean, well, it's going to take you more because that's a very difficult game. But I mean, like I said, because there are codes, treat the collection as one game, and because I think that it's the time to beat for all of them. I've seen for the collection is up to 20 hours. So, I would say just treat it as one game.
So just give it 3 points.
No, I would say just 2.
Well, no,
no,
2 points.
1 point for beating it, 1 point for it being
retro,
not being in 2022, and the other for being. It would be 3.
Yeah, so you would get 3 points, 2 for the game because it's retro, and then 1 for actually getting the 100% or platinum.
Yeah, so I give you 3 points for this. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, JT.
I don't know if I would give you a point per game, but definitely 3.
All right.
Sorry.
No. Let's get into what I was playing. The only thing I played all week is The Division 2, which I very rarely played, and I got my platinum in The Last of Us Part 1, which I would argue should be a point each game, but I asked JT, and JT said he's only given 1 point for a port, so because I figured.
Well, the thing is that anything that releases in 2022 at all, like this isn't just me saying this to you. This is the collective. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing the point. I'm just saying it was 2 games that were both over the hour threshold. So I would think that it'd be a point each. But as you said, it comes with the Left Behind.
Yes.
So then, yeah, it is 1 point each.
Okay, so then I get 3 points for the.
Yeah,
collection.
I didn't know that it was that the Left Behind was with it. So
yeah, you actually.
If it is, then yeah, you will get that.
All right, yeah, because you actually have to get all the trophies in Left Behind to get the 1 platinum, because it's 1 platinum for the entire list.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
But it's still under the same trophy list, correct?
Just like the other Left Behinds. Yeah.
So he wouldn't get a point each for that, right? He would just get a point for the platinum.
That's what
you get a point for the platinum. Wait a minute. Is the Left Behind DLC now baked into the game?
Yes, you have to. Just for example, like in the original Last of Us, 1 trophy was you had to get all the optional conversations, and that was a trophy within the first in both versions of The Last of Us before this. Now the trophy is you have to get all the optional conversations in The Last of Us and Left Behind in order for that trophy to pop.
But you have to finish Left Behind before you get the platinum, is what I'm saying.
Because there's a trophy for beating.
That changes everything.
There's a trophy for beating the main game, and there's a trophy for beating Left Behind, and you have to get all the collectibles are combined between the 2 games, all the optional conversations, everything.
So yeah, it is 2 points. Sorry, Tricky.
No, listen, it is what it is. All right, so let's get into our topics. I'm going to skip the first one because I don't think really there's going to be a conversation with that. Well, basically, Sony has redesigned the PS5, which was causing controversy because they're saying that they redesigned it to make it cheaper for them, but then they raised the prices worldwide. You know, it was a little shady.
Little shady. Definitely shady.
Well,
but
I mean, I don't envy the people who got hit with this for sure. Like, it sucks.
I just, the only reason I'm skipping it is not because I don't think it's worthy of a conversation, just because I don't know if this has actually been confirmed yet. I mean, it is coming from, it's reported by The Verge, and it's done by a YouTuber. I don't know how credible the YouTuber is, so I don't want to go too far into it. But I don't
know how incredible Verge is after that whole, like, build a gaming PC $2,000 video guide being bust.
I'm just saying, this is something that was established. It's on our radar, but I don't know how credible it is, so I don't want to go into it. But as more information comes out, we will come back to this topic.
Jim Ryan.
But our first topic that we're going to talk about is Cyberpunk 2077 is getting their first expansion. It will not be on last-gen consoles, and while this says it's their first expansion, they have confirmed that they're not making any more. So,
well, yeah, they have. Yeah.
So Cyberpunk, I don't know how good it is with all the patches and everything. If it's playable now, but
I can tell you, it's way more playable. It is. I wouldn't say it's completely fixed, but from what I played, it is light years better than what we got at first. And when you mean last gen, you mean PS4 and
Xbox One.
Xbox One, right? Okay,
yes.
that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, no, that I could see that.
So, Alex, what do you think about one, they're releasing their first expansion and only expansion, and them not making it available to last-gen consoles?
Well, they probably want to run away from last-gen consoles as fast as they can. But also, I wonder if they had more content planned, but a lot of that was train wrecked because of the issues that they had at launch on the last-gen consoles. I mean, really, every console, I know it ran smoother on PC and on the newer-gen consoles than it did on last-gen, but I mean, they had a lot of problems, and you have to wonder if that kind of basically killed off or took away time and resources that they would have put into new content for the game and other expansions. I mean, granted, you know, Last of Us, the first game only had one expansion. Horizon Zero Dawn only had one expansion. We're yet to hear about an expansion for Forbidden West if that ever comes out. So, I mean, one expansion or one DLC coming out for a big game, isn't necessarily a never happen either. Like, it does happen.
Well, I mean, the only reason I say that is because their last game, which was The Witcher, Witcher 3, because how much content they came out with that, I mean, I guess people expected this to come out with Cyberpunk as well.
Yeah, but The Witcher was a lot better received.
I think The Witcher also was way bigger in scope, but Cyberpunk, I was one of the people that thought, like, this is going to be like 0 to 1 expansion or DLC pack, and then that was it. Like, I was one of those people that just thought that they were going to either put nothing out or something out, and that was it. It wasn't that. I don't think it's necessarily worth putting more out at this point.
Well, and also it matters how big the expansion is, like how much content there is. Because if it's a big expansion, then you don't necessarily need, like, honestly, this far out from the initial launch, you know, it's not a platform. You want to start to work on your next game, whether that be Cyberpunk 2, we're not going to fuck this up boogaloo, or, you know, whatever.
Also, the Xbox One version is the Series X version. Like, they literally just put a patch over it.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say yes or no, but I don't think that's entirely true.
It's the whole what do they call that?
The free upgrade or whatever. I don't know the terminology.
Whatever they call that. It's that, but maybe you won't have access to the expansion until you get the Series X. But like, in all purposes, it's pretty much just the same version, same achievement list, same everything.
Smart delivery. That's what they call it.
Yeah, smart delivery. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, basically, anybody that doesn't know, smart delivery basically is you put an Xbox One game into your Series S or X, and it automatically upgrades it to an S or X version of it. So you actually cannot play the Xbox One version of the game anymore.
Yeah, it just upgrades it like pretty much automatically.
So yield.
Tricky.
Yes, sir.
Where does it say that this is the only expansion for the game?
I
I
did. I don't know if I linked it, but I did see.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I-
I did see that too. I can't.
Okay,
confirm
I
it.
just say the two articles you have in here say nothing about it being the only expansion.
Okay, I apologize. I thought I put that link in there, but that was one of the things that was said was that this was going to be the only one.
Okay, no, that's it. I was just. I was
All right. So
confused by it.
what are your thoughts on a whole thing on one not letting the DLC go to the last gen, and also that they're only coming out with one DLC expansion?
Well, one DLC expansion. I mean, it doesn't phase me none. You don't have to put out any if you don't want to. As for it not going to the last gen consoles, obviously they learned their lesson at launch that this game wasn't going to work overly well on the old generation, and therefore would probably kill it if they tried to do DLC for it. So while it sucks for those who bought it last gen, it makes sense.
Now, my question, and I don't know if this is true, if you bought Cyberpunk 2077, say for the PS4, because I'm not going to reference Xbox because of the smart delivery, but if you bought it for the PS4, did you get a free upgrade to the PS5?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's if
So-
you buy the PS4 version, it's free. Yeah.
So the only person that this is really going to affect is the Xbox One owners and the PlayStation 4 owners. Anybody that
Yeah.
has the next gen consoles, it doesn't matter because you already have a version of this game.
Well, they also have a version of it, but they have to wait until they buy a PS5, which might be
Right.
a little harder now. 'cause
No,
of the
what I'm
$100
just saying
increase.
is that it's the only people this is going to affect is people that haven't bought the current gen systems yet. That's the only people it's going to really affect right now. All right.
Yeah.
Comment. Nitro agrees with you, JT. He says, I really didn't expect an expansion for Cyberpunk. It was decent enough with just the main story. All right. Fair enough.
Pretty
right.
much.
Okay. So now we're going to go into, we've had a lot of, we've had two press conferences. I don't know if you call them real press conferences. They were more showcases, pre-recorded. But first, we're going to go into the Disney and Marvel Game Showcase. This is everything that was announced there. Yield, I will tell you that the first thing I'm going to talk about has been confirmed. I expect
Well, I would imagine that most of these have been confirmed.
No. This is an inside joke between me and Yield. He's just ignoring me now.
So, first off,
You-
I will not go with anything from TikTok. Secondly, I will say on my defense that the video I watched at work did not mention the Amy Hennig thing. That's why I was saying about Uncharted. When I mentioned Naughty Dog in our chat.
Yes.
Thirdly, I will not take the advice of someone that goes, and I don't care how much I trust them, that goes, trust me, it's legit.
Okay. I was
Even if it's an NVIDIA leak, which has been like
No,
100% on the mark.
He's talking about me because so a little before we go into this, there was a video, a TikTok video that stated that a new Marvel game that was going to feature Captain America and Black Panther was going to come out, and it was being made by one of the developers of Uncharted. And I put under there, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is, good thing. And then Yield made his normal comment, it's like, I'll believe it when I see it, blah, 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 blah. I watched the showcase, and it was confirmed. So I texted, I guess the TikTok video was right. And it started a whole thing between me and Yield going, until I see it, show me proof, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, trust me, it's legit.
Because while we're doing this, I am scouring the internet. and nobody is losing their minds over this game. And I'm like, I'm going through my Twitter thing, because Twitter, D23, okay, this is what it would have been. I'm clicking and I'm scrolling through this. No one's losing their mind over this really cool game. So I'm like, well, Tricky, where's your proof? Well, just believe me, it's been confirmed. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't believe you. I can't find proof that backs this up. And then he finally provided me the proof, and I'm like, thank you. That's what I asked for.
All right, so what we're talking about is Amy Hennig and Skydance New Media's new game is a Marvel game which is featuring Captain America, Black Panther, and the story is set in World War II. Amy Hennig and Skydance New Media have revealed their thing. During the story, players will travel to Paris, Wakanda, and potential more places. While the game is currently untitled, it promises to feature 4 playable heroes: a young Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, a Zuri, T'Challa's grandfather. So we're not getting T'Challa, we're getting his grandfather. World War II era Black Panther, Gabriel Jones, which was a U.S. soldier and a member of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali, which is the leader of the Wakandian spy network. So, we don't have any other information other than a story, not even a story trailer, but just like a little cutscene. I think this could be cool. I don't know what else to say about it other than go watch the trailer. It was, it got me intrigued. Yield, you said you weren't too intrigued until you see more of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that we may get a Captain America game set during World War II. Other than that, from what I saw from the trailer, you haven't really piqued my interest.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I'm still currently on my Marvel hold. I was going through Disney Plus to see, we've finished watching all the shows we want to watch. I mean, that aren't weekly episodic. We have to wait a week for. I was just going to Disney Plus and just kind of perusing and seeing, is there anything I want to watch? Boatloads of Marvel stuff on there. I'm like, nope, I'm fine. I don't need. Closes Disney Plus and goes and does something else. So, honestly, you could make the greatest Marvel game ever made, and I'd be like, I don't care at this point. I'm just kind of on a hiatus.
All right, JT.
I'm a weeb. I don't care.
Okay. Moving on. Marvel's Midnight Sights.
Where's his heart on his sleeve there? I'm a weeb.
Give me my anime, my manga, my JRPGs, my action hack and slashers that are like Devil May Cry, my shooters like Resident Evil. Give me all the Japanese stuff, and I'm going to explode. But the moment you bring up Marvel and DC, I'm like, ugh.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you about any more of this stuff. After an infinite delay, Marvel Midnight Suns has a new release date. It's coming out December 2nd of this year for new-gen consoles and PC. Unfortunately, the Switch version still has no date. It also revealed that it's going to have prequel shorts starting on October 31st, which is a full month before. There are a set of 5 short videos that provide backstory on the formation of the young core of the Midnight Suns. Again, if you guys want to talk about something, just stop me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going.
Well, anyway, this one I'm actually interested in.
Mr. I don't like Marvel.
The rule. It has to be a role-playing game, a Western role-playing game, or a first-party game.
This is done in the style of XCOM, so
it's a role-playing game. It's a tactical role-playing game.
All right. Bithell Games is coming out with Tron Identity. It's a new visual novel adventure. That's coming out in 2023 to PC and consoles. A new co-op Mickey Mouse and Friends game, Illusion Island, was announced exclusively for the Switch. Marvel World of Heroes, which is the a Pokemon-style game with Marvel Heroes, is coming out next year. Avatar Fronts of Pandora gets a quick gameplay overview. Marvel Snap, the upcoming free-to-play collectible card game, gets a global release date. That's coming out on October 18th. Return to Monkey Island gets a new trailer ahead of its Talk Like a Pirates Day. That's September 19th. Aliens Dark Descent, we got our first trailer of gameplay. That's coming to PC and consoles in 2023. Gargoyles Remastered will bring the classic 90s platformer to modern consoles and the PC. Anybody interested in that?
Yeah, I would. don't believe I ever played that one. It's on the Genesis, I think was the platform that was mentioned, the original platform. So yeah, I'll give it a look. And I like the Gargoyles cartoon. They've even got a board game out now for Gargoyles. So yeah, it's nice to see the Gargoyles getting some love some 20-odd years later.
I actually enjoyed the Gargoyles cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah, because you're a smart person, JT.
That was fun times. It's one of the very few Disney things I liked.
How about Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers?
Ooh, those are good. I watched that new movie. That was pretty dope. I was wondering how they got all those IPs without suffering lawsuits, because they don't own a lot of those. So I was like, what? My Little Pony, how do they have that? That's a Hasbro thing. It's like...
Disney Dreamlight Valley is adding new Toy Story content later this year. The mobile MMORPG shooter Avatar Reckoning gets a first look trailer. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is getting a Galactic Edition and new characters. It's going to come with 13 character packs, including 6 new packs that contain such fan favorites as Cassian Andor, Reva, Captain Rex, and more. Disney Speedstorm introduces new racers for Monsters, Inc. Disney's Mirrorverse Halloween season will soon bring spooky fun to the mobile adventure. Marvel Strike Force is going to be adding Red Hulk. All right, before we move on, does anybody want to talk about anything in particular?
The mobile MMO, that probably means that it's going to be auto battle generated, which means that it's going to be bad.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of Marvel, but honestly, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of games, but a lot of that's just like, hey, we're adding characters to stuff. So, like with the Lego Skywalker Saga. I mean, I have to imagine that character select screen, because back in the day for some of those even the original Batman game, there were a ton of characters you could pick from. I can't imagine now with all the Star Wars characters they have to cram into those games after 9 movies and 9 main series movies, and then all the offshoots they're probably going to add people to,
Then you've got the 2 offshoot movies, and then you've got the 3 season of Mandalorian.
Then you got the Boba Fett.
You got Ahsoka. You
also got the Obi-Wan.
You've got Obi-Wan. You've got.
You got the Clone Wars cartoon and the Rebels cartoon.
Oh, I forgot Rebels. I'm forgetting some more. You got Andor coming out, and
you got the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch, yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So wait, at this event, did they show off, because there's a teaser trailer out for Mandalorian Season 3. Did they show, that might have been the most awesome thing from this showcase, if that's what was included?
Well,
I can't wait for Mandalorian. Mandalorian Season 3, yeah!
Okay, hold on. That wasn't a part of the Disney Marvel Games showcase. That was revealed at D23, but I didn't put that in the agenda. But that wasn't part of the showcase. That was released separately. And they did show a trailer, but I believe, because for some reason D23 decided not to live stream all of their events. So I think that was just for the crowd, although I'm sure there's leaks out there somewhere.
Well, and then they also showed off, or they ended D23 with the Indiana Jones trailer.
Yeah, but I heard that was just behind closed doors too.
I'm sure it is.
That's probably something I'm going to be interested in. That's not Weeb.
Do they dare do are they, once Harrison Ford inevitably passes, because it's going to happen, hopefully in the far-flung future.
It's going to be a sad day.
Are they? It will, JT. You're right about that. Are they going to try to continue on without him? Do you think they're going to have the balls to be like, let's?
They already tried that with Shia LaBeouf.
They're going to make his son from who's the guy from the Transformers?
Shia LaBeouf isn't doing anything. He's not doing anything. They're
going to make him do it. They're going to say, Shia LaBeouf, go.
According to Spielberg and the last report, I don't know if it was from Disney or from who, they've all basically said that Ford is Indiana Jones, no ifs, ands, or buts. And Ford's already said that this is his last movie.
Ever.
That he's done after this. So, would they remake him after he passes? You get Spielberg's gone, and that loyalty is gone out of Disney. And if they still own the rights, yeah, I could see them, hey, let's redo it again for a new generation.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be at least 10, 20 years down the road.
I hope it
I think that'll be.
All right.
But
They're
I'm
gonna
hoping
let
it's
it
one of
rest.
Yeah, I hope they just let it rest.
But they'll bring it back for sure.
All right, let's move on. The next thing we have is the Ubi-Soft Forward, which I live stream, so go check that out on Twitch. It's going to be up on YouTube soon. So Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope will have 3 DLCs, including one focused on Rayman. So go check that out. That's Switch news. Just Dance 2023 was announced as well. Trackmania is going cross-platform play with cross-progression. If you guys are interested in that, it's finally coming to consoles. The Division Heartland is coming out. It's going to be a free-to-play story within the Division universe. You're going to be in... Oh, what's the name of the town? I don't know. You're going to be in Middle America. I can't remember. It's Sweet something. But
it says Heartland, so...
Yeah, it's going to be in the heartland of the United States.
Sweetwater, Texas?
No.
Tennessee?
It's... Hold on.
I'm looking it up right now.
Shouldn't you know this as the Trophy Horse #1 Division fan?
I did, and then I just blanked as soon as I said it. Hopefully we're going to get new... if you're watching this live, they're doing a Division stream tomorrow to confirm all the stuff that's coming. So hopefully I'll get more...
It's cool that they do that.
I want to say Sweetwater.
Oh, it doesn't say in the article.
It does not. But that's going to be a free-to-play game, and it's going to be canon, so that should be cool. The next thing we have is Skull and Bones. A trailer showed off ship customization and pirate layers. Yield, I don't know if you've looked into this at all. It did look pretty damn cool.
I watched the trailer didn't show off the layer customizations. It did show off the ship customizations. I have a article loaded that I'm going to watch after the show about how the exploration works.
One thing that I want to make sure I say to you, because I know you're a little worried about this, they learned that Skull and Bones will feature cross-platform play at launch, and while there's obviously a lot of PvP at the heart of it, you can switch off the PvP at any time. So other players cannot bother you.
Good.
So I know that was one of your concerns there, sir.
Absolutely. I don't want people wrecking my pirate experience unless you're on my unless you're in my crew.
Now, does that give you any more incentive to buy the game?
Well, no, I got to see more of it before I fully commit, but it's trending in the right direction.
All right, JT, you were trying to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the point of these pirate games like this is that other pirates will raid you as a pirate. Like, look at the what's the Xbox one called?
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, like that's successful because of its PvP nature.
Okay, can I want to speak for Yield here, and Yield, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The problem...
Why can't Yield speak for himself?
Because I have the point. I don't know if Yield is going to have the point, or he's just going to agree with me or disagree with me. All right. The problem with games like this is the fact that if you don't jump in day one and you wait a month or you wait 2 months to play this game, by the time you're jumping in and you're so low level, you're just trying to do a simple task, you're going to get high level players that are just going to come in and destroy you and ruin your experience.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
If you could turn off the PvP until you get yourself up to a state where you feel like you can defend yourself, then turn PvP on, that's when I think Yield would do it. Am I wrong, Yield?
Yeah, you're right. I might test the waters when I feel really comfortable that I know. Yeah, I feel like I know what I'm doing, but yeah, I just, like we've all said at the beginning of the show, online is a bunch of jerks, and
wankers.
Therefore I don't want people ruining my experience.
And
one of my favorite genres is the MMORPG genre because of how the progression and how you can dedicate so much time into many universes and like have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth lives of yourself, and it's pretty insane actually.
That's one of the reasons why, as much as I love the Division, I never go into the Dark Zone. Unless I have to go into the Dark Zone to farm some piece of equipment, I will go into the Dark Zone long enough to farm that piece of equipment, extract it, and then I will not go back.
Right now, I'm playing Guild Wars 2, and it has very high emphasis on PvP, but it doesn't like force you into it. You have to like queue for that.
All right. Matt G says in the chat, calling it now, Skull and Bones is going to be nuked to the depths with microtransactions.
You're probably right. Ubisoft is doing that now.
I think.
I'm sure they will. Hey, buy this customization, buy that customization.
Their single-player games
they do that with Assassin's Creed until it's nauseating.
Yeah, they do it with Assassin's Creed for sure.
So, Yield, I don't know if you saw, but there is a link where you can check out the exploration on land and see how it works.
Yeah, that's the article.
Oh wait, you can do both?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's not just sea combat; it's land combat as well.
Oh my god! Thank God! Whoa! I was worried. I thought it was all sea. I was like, oh no.
No. All right. So the rest of the Ubisoft Forward basically covered Assassin's Creed. The first thing we're going to talk about is Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade, which is going to be an open-world Assassin's Creed game for your mobile devices. I will say that I've skipped over a bunch of topics, but there was at least 3 or 4 games that were announced for mobile. One was Rainbow Six, one was The Division, this one as well, and I believe there was another one that was announced for mobile. So apparently Ubisoft is investing heavily into the mobile market.
Ubisoft sees what the mobile version of Diablo is doing. They're like, oh man, we got Assassin's Creed. It's time to build people for as much money as we can. Which, given their press conference,
Assassin's Creed isn't as big though. Like,
oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Hey JT, do you see how many games? Like, I don't know if you have the agenda, but like the many games that they announced at this thing that are Assassin's Creed, like they're going back to their old strategy. You know, for a while they're like, you know what, we're going to take our time with these games. You're going to get one every few years. It wasn't we'll give you one every year. Now they're like, we're going back to our old strategy. Fuck, our library is stale. What we're putting out isn't exciting. Just give them more Assassin's Creed. Let's go back to what we're doing and just shove Assassin's Creed down their throat until they fucking choke. Because when Tricky was telling me all the stuff that they had for Assassin's Creed from this conference, I was like, my God, like is 75% of what they're doing Assassin's Creed? Like, because that's what it came across if you didn't watch the thing and someone was just telling you about it, because the most important things are the Assassin's Creed stuff, and there's a lot of it.
All right, so moving on. This is coming from IGN and written by Matt Pertzlow. All these articles come from IGN, but basically I didn't read the articles. I just gave you the information. This one, Ubisoft has officially fully revealed Assassin's Creed Mirage, a new action-adventure game in the series focused on stealth and parkour. Revealed as part of Ubisoft's Forward Assassin's Creed showcase, Assassin's Creed Mirage cast you as Basham and is set in the city of Baghdad, 20 years before the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's designed to be a modern take on the original gameplay template for the earlier Assassin's Creed games, with developer Ubisoft Bordeaux using the same 3 design pillars as the original game: stealth, parkour, and assassinations. No gameplay was shown, but a CGI cinematic trailer focused on the rise of Basham from a simple street thief to a master assassin. He does so under the tutelage of Roshan, a Persian assassin played by Emmy Award winner actor, and I'm going to butcher this name and I apologize, Shirora Agadashlu.
Hey man, you're trying. Also, the way you've been saying the main character's name makes me. I at first I thought you said Bastion, so I thought we were going to the never-ending story
Bashim
with this Assassin's Creed.
Bashim with an M.
Can I say something about this?
Hold on. The narrative director said that we can expect the duo story to involve numerous historical figures, including political leaders. Yeah. So before I let GT go, I just want to be clear about this article if you didn't catch it. This is going back to the gameplay style of the original games, like Assassin's Creed 2, 3, and 1. It's going back to that. It's not going to be an open world RPG as we saw in Origins, Valhalla, and what? Odyssey. So, all right, go ahead, GT.
Well, you pretty much just answered my question, and also I that means that I'm probably not going to get it because I like the open world ones better.
Well, I stand by because we got more news for that. But before we move on, Yield and Alex, what do you guys think of what I said about Mirage so far?
I mean,
I just know Istanbul is not Constantinople.
I mean, if you're gonna strip down a lot of the stuff you added in Origins, which Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla all well received, if you're gonna start stripping stuff off and go back to the original games and like that kind of gameplay, like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, these were good games. But to me, it's just like, do you now have two sets of Assassin's Creed games? Like, oh, we have the open world like Origins, but then we're gonna go back in this other series and we're gonna have gameplay that's like Assassin's Creed 2, but they're all gonna be connected through some world. Like, why can't you just give people like one Assassin's world, one interconnected world, that has gameplay all the same, or just put out one release every 2 to 3 years and make it really good? Like, I don't understand why they have to have 3 Assassin's Creed games cooking right now, whether one's a mobile or whether one's on the PS5 and I just don't understand why we need all this Assassin's Creed. Like, they're gonna confuse the shit out of people with this.
Well,
I can answer your question.
Yeah, GT.
They wanna like compete. They want to be that guy who's like, I don't want to say that they're like Call of Duty, but like they can compete with it, and they're not gonna be able to compete with it. Like the call, how Call of Duty is. They have like 3 games in development, with 3 different developers that release in 3 different years yearly, and they're like, people just want to mimic that, and because they see the success, and it's just like, it just ruins it for everyone else. Even though they keep on buying it, they know it's stale. Even though they keep on buying it, it's.
I think that doing something again, like stripping down 2 more original gameplay, is going to be seen as a step back, and you're going to turn people off. I think the RPG elements, and I think in a big adventure game these days, RPG elements are expected. So when you take away something like that, it's not going to be viewed very positively from the people who liked, like JT, the open world aspect to these games. I mean, I don't want these open worlds to keep expanding to where it takes 2,000 hours to complete a game. But at the same time, when you reset a series like they did, and now you're resetting it again, it's like, it's like all the remakes and all the rehashes of movies from the 80s we get, or games, remakes and remasters. Like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to keep going back to zero.
Okay, well, before you go there, they're not going back to zero. Because, also was announced, Ubisoft has officially revealed Assassin's Creed Infinity.
Oh.
Now, I want to say, what I predicted last week is what this is. So, listen to what I'm about to say. It's a new platform and hub for Assassin's Creed games. It also revealed that the first 2 games will be part of Infinity. One will follow the life of a shinobi in feudal Japan, and another helmed Watch Dogs Legion. Another one is being held by Watch Dogs Legion's director Clint Hockland. Revealed today as part of the Ubi-Soft Forward's showcase, Vice President Executive Producer of Assassin's Creed, Mark Alexis Cote, explained that, quote, Infinity is not a game per se. It's going to be the single entry point for our fans into the Assassin's Creed franchise into the future. Infinity is going to be a hub that will unite all our different experiences and players together in meaningful ways, end quote. The hub will be a place where different games will exist, and it appears to start with Assassin's Creed codename Red, described by Cote as being part of the, quote, next premium flagship title and the future of our open-world RPG games, end quote. Codename Red is set in feudal Japan, a historical period frequently requested by fans. A very brief trailer showed a shinobi jumping onto a pitched roof and then unsheathing their hidden blade, but that's all that's been shown so far.
I don't know if you all saw this on Twitter, but Ghost of Tsushima was trending because everyone was like, oh, hey, great. They finally decided they want to do a samurai-style Assassin's Creed game. Too bad Ghost of Tsushima already exists. Like, people were ragging on this game because we already have Ghost of Tsushima. So, not a great start.
Ghost of Tsushima is pretty much that, but 100 times better.
Well, yeah, which is exactly what everyone's point. It's like, hey, guys, you're a little late to the party.
They did the Ubisoft thing better than Ubisoft, which is, I mean, ugh.
I mean, look, they have some really good developers, Ubisoft, but I'm sorry, Ubisoft is not Sucker Punch. They have no studio that's as good as Sucker Punch. I'll say that now. You can call me a Sony pony, you can call me a fanboy, I don't care. Sucker Punch, like, laid it all on the line, and Ghost of Tsushima, they've done great stuff before, but they laid it all on the line with Ghost of Tsushima, and they fucking soared with that game because that game's a masterpiece. So anything that Ubisoft does with this, I think is going to be seen in the shadow of Ghost of Tsushima, because that game is just so damn good.
Well, let's be real. We're not going to see Codename Red for at least 3-4 years.
Okay, but then by that time, do we get Ghost of Tsushima too?
Well, we don't know. I mean, one would assume that it would probably be announced by then. Now, I'm not trying to shill for Ubisoft here, but this is what the fans wanted. They're finally making it, and then immediately it's getting shit on. Like, this is my problem with gamers in general. It's like, you want something, we're giving it to you, but then you're going to shit on it.
Yeah, but people ask for it, and how many years later do you find it deliver when you've got a game that is in that style that is a game that stands up among the best video games, not just of that year, but ever made? Like, do you not deserve shit for that? For not, like, basically you sat on the pot for too long and you didn't shit, but yet you didn't get off either.
I don't know. Yield, what's your opinions?
Welcome to the party, pal.
You just gotta respond in movie quotes.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to say about it? I mean, Alex pretty much hit the nail on every head. I mean,
okay, so
they've been clamoring. Even Alex had said a Japan thing would be interesting. Fans have been kind of clamoring for it. Well, now you're getting around to it. Great. You want to know what? Sucker Punch beat you to it about 5 years ago, and unless you knock it out of the park, which is probably suspect because how you're pumping out Assassin's Creed games, Sucker Punch already did it better 5 years ago.
All right. Before we go on, part of
and their sequel will probably be better than that one. I'm just saying.
All right, and also part of Infinity is going to be codename Hexay. Was shown. It was revealed nothing but Sentinel or a main character. It did, however, hint towards an unusual direction for the series. The Assassin's Creed triangle logo, made of twigs and twine, was shown hanging from a tree branch, much like Witchcraft Talisman. The game's main logo features a talisman positioned over a rune-filled design in the shape of a heptagram, 7-pointed star. Based on the eerie music used in the trailer, the imagery, and the Hexay name, could Assassin's Creed be exploring the topic of witch hunts?
We're going to be set in Salem, Massachusetts?
Well, no. The Bamberg witch trials. Is that Salem? I don't know. I don't know my history on the Salem witch trials.
Well, neither do I.
That would be interesting. I think that would be more interesting than Japan, to be honest.
The Bamberg witch trials, which took place during the 1600s against the backdrop of the 30-year war, seems a reasonable guess as to Hexay's setting, but there's no official details from Ubisoft. All right, so now that we talked about Codename Red and Hexay, let's address the conversation. I'm sorry, Yield. What?
Nothing. I was
he was doing a little song there, a little jab song.
Okay, so let's address the Assassin's Creed Infinity, where they're going to be linking these two games together, and possibly more. We expect more games in the future. Yield, I'll start with you. Is it a good idea to make one central location where all these games are linked? Because one of the feedbacks that we always get from Alex is that everything outside the Animus was boring. Like, we didn't want anything outside the Animus. But this is basically like an Animus linking all the stories together. So they're kind of bringing back the outside the Animus without actually doing that. Is that a good idea?
Well, I can't fully speak to that because I have yet to play an Assassin's Creed game. The concept, I would say the concept behind it is interesting. That you've got, one hub linking all the games. My thing is, how are you going to make it work? Are you just you buy one initial game and then everything in essence is like a DLC, and I'm using it in quotations because it's its own game. You get what I'm saying? Like you bought the first one, you've installed it. Now from there, all that you're doing is updating the game and purchasing the latest pack. So to speak.
It's probably going to be that, or
because if you're releasing different games, it takes away from that whole hub, in my opinion. Go ahead, JD.
it'll probably be that, or like Uplay Plus or Premium. It's going to be a separate sub.
Okay.
And I could totally see them doing a like monthly annual sub for something like that because it's Ubisoft.
Well, they kind of already do that with Ubisoft Plus.
Well, yeah, I just bought that up. They could do it again. They could have another.
And if anybody doesn't know, they're having a free trial with Ubisoft Plus until October 10th right now. So you can go play every Ubisoft game for free for the next month before you have to pay for it. Also, want to go back to Mirage for a second. 3 editions are being planned. You have the standard edition, which is going to retail for $50. You have the deluxe edition for $60, which comes with the additional content. And then you have the $150 collector's case, which comes with a 32-centimeter statue, a replica of its brooch, a map, an art book, a soundtrack, and a steelbook. So I thought it was also interesting that we're going to get a mainline Assassin's Creed game, and it's going to be $20 cheaper than what everything else on the market. So, all right, Alex. Alex, what about you with the hub? What are your thoughts?
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, buddy.
What you've told me with the showcase is Ubisoft is just doing like Just Dance and more rabid stuff. They're what Sparks of Hope with Mario, the collaboration they're doing with Nintendo. They're just doing a bunch of sequels. We talked about on the show, I think, was it with Matt? Was Matt G on the show? We talked about how stale their lineup was. So their answer was to put out more sequels and have just a buttload of Assassin's Creed. Drown us in Assassin's Creed. So that basically tells me that, hey, with Assassin's Creed, we're just going to throw everything against the wall. And maybe they're trying to hit all these marks. You know, you've got these people in the Assassin's Creed universe asking for a game set in this period, and, you know, another group of people asking for this location. And you want to just get them all out there. But they're basically telling me they're throwing everything they can against the wall because nothing is working for them right now. So, or at least they're not where they want to be with their game lineup. And they don't interest me at all with that method. Like, I don't want to play any of this. You know, I may play some of the past Assassin's Creed games. Maybe I'll pick up Odyssey, never Valhalla, because that game sounds like it takes too fucking long to beat. But with their strategy with Assassin's Creed of just pitch everything you got at the ceiling fan and see, you know, how much can hit. No, I don't want to do that. And again, like, why am I going to go play a game set in feudal Japan when I just got through playing? Like, I went back and I played Iki Island. I played the DLC, you know, more great content from Ghost of Tsushima. I played the Legends, the Rivals, you know, game, which they added somewhat recently, you know, after the initial release of Legends, where you have 2-on-2 and, you know, you're essentially going through waves of enemies, and, you know, as you go on and you defeat enemies, you're earning like the spirit energy, which you can use to buy things to basically fuck with your opponents. So you're the other team you're competing against. You want to get to the end of your waves before they get to the end of theirs, and you can buy like demon beasts or fire gods or all this stuff to screw up their progression. So you've got a game that has fun multiplayer, a great single player. Why do I want to play Codename Red? And why do I care about a stripped-down version of Assassin's Creed and Mirage that goes back to a gameplay style that is more than a decade old, and it's all linked by this system where you're clearly going to bilk people for money? So, like, what about this sounds good to anybody who likes Assassin's Creed? I agree that turning Assassin's Creed into a platform instead of, like, a yearly release could be a very good idea, but the way they're doing it just sounds terrible. And it sounds like they're just going to try to put their hands in in your wallet as many times as they can and call it Assassin's Creed. Like,
okay.
Even if one is $20 less than MSRP, you're still trying to get me to buy 7,000 Assassin's Creeds.
Okay. I want to clarify some things here because I want to just be clear about all the information. What it sounds
you were clear.
What it sounds like to me is that Mirage is going to be a mainline story, and that they're going to release the action-adventure type games, and then anything that's the open-world RPG-based is going to be under the Infinity banner. So, Mirage is not part of Infinity. That's not going to be linked by that. That, to me, the way this sounds is that they're going to release the action-adventure games like Mirage separately, and then anything that's open world RPG is going to be linked together under the code name Infinity. So I don't know how that's going to be moved forward. That's just personally how it sounded to me. that doesn't invalidate anything Alex just said. I just want to be clear about the information.
No, because whoever said it earlier, whether it was JT or you or it was Yield, they look at Call of Duty and they're like, that looks nice. Let's just cram Assassin's Creed to that box. And that's essentially what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Okay, but
Yeah, credit to you, JT, because you're right. This is bullshit. No, people who like Assassin's Creed, this is not what you can want if you like Assassin's Creed. I don't come off of playing Origins, after dipping out of the series for 10 years, come back to Origins and having a good experience with Origins. I don't hear this and be like, my God, they're on the right track with Assassin's Creed. I'm like, the wheels are off the cart and they're just a runaway train and they're just like putting hand in people's purses as they go down the hill.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you want to compare Assassin's Creed to Call of Duty, you could basically say like Mirage is them coming out with their Call of Duty games every year, and the Infinity is basically what they're doing with Warzone, where like this is our ongoing platform. This is, and we're just going to keep updating this. So they're basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, but they could also... I think the one thing that Ubisoft is doing different with Assassin's Creed is they're adding one more thing, which is the mobile game. So they could be adding one mobile game as well. I mean, they might
Warzone's
not,
on mobile.
like...
They got Warzone on the cell phones.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like their own separate mobile thing, like something that isn't coming out. Because didn't you say that this was only mobile? Like the Assassin's Creed mobile game was just mobile. It wasn't. You didn't say it was coming out on the other consoles.
No, the Codename Jade is their mobile game.
Yeah, so like there's the difference.
I don't know. All right. Let's move on. But before we do, we have to throw it across the pond to our main man, Sid.
Hello again, my friends. Sid is back with yet another Sophie's Trophies. Once again, guys, I have to say my little dude Callum is in the room with me, so you may hear some baby noises. This one, okay, it's gonna be The Last of Us Part 1. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy with this game. My personal opinion is they can remake what the hell they like. They've done a good job with this. I don't think the AI is as improved as I thought it would be, but apart from that, I can't see anything wrong with this game. It's still The Last of Us, but the animations are smoother. It looks a hell of a lot better. So that's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Is it worth 70? Not sure. Not sure I would pay 70 for it. Which brings me to the next part of my thing. There has been some correspondence going on as to how I'm getting so many platinum trophies. And I have to say, it's Tricky's fault. But in a good way. Because he has very kindly allowed me use of his accounts. Mainly to give me things to talk about for Sophie's Trophies, because if you're doing this every week, guys, it becomes very difficult to find a game to chat about. And I was getting a bit flustered. So Tricky kindly said, you know what, use my accounts. And then he said, any of the big games I get, i.e. The Last of Us, like this one, he said, feel free to play them. So, big shout out to Tricky. Without him, I wouldn't have these games to play, I wouldn't have things to talk about, or not as much to talk about. So, that being said, guys, let's go through these trophies. The list is a lot better than what it used to be. I think Naughty Dog have improved. Let's go for it. So, as always, Platinum Trophy, guys, it can't be for nothing. And as usual, that is for getting all of the trophies. Then we have No Matter What, which is complete part 1. Then we have Don't Go, which is complete Left Behind, which has also been remastered, redone, whatever you want to call it. Look for the Light, find all Firefly pendants, or Firefly pendants. These are all over the game world, guys. There are checkpoints and things, and it does tell you in the menus what you found and where you found them, or not where you found them, what you found in what chapter and things. So looking back for stuff is not too difficult. Endure and survive. Collect all comics. These are for Ellie. She's an avid comic reader, so you need to find those for her. Chronicles. Find all notes and artifacts. So again, there are checklists, kind of, or they tell you what chapters you've missed things in, so, you know. Then we have Getting to Know You. Engage in all optional conversations. This one, guys, a little speech bubble will appear. Press triangle to talk to your character's partner. Be it Ellie or Trish or whoever. These are missable. I think most of these are missable. That's all I got. Survive all of Ellie's jokes. So these are, I think, kind of like the optional conversations, guys. You press triangle and Ellie will tell you a joke at certain situations. Something to fight for. Find all training manuals. Okay, so these give you... God, what are they? They, like, give you sort of extra help on your items, like your... I am so sorry, guys, I'm blanking. Your first aid kits. So say you have a first aid kit and you find the training manual for the first aid kit. That first aid kit will then do 30% more healing. So that's the kind of thing they do. So as you're going around, find them. I have found one of those so far, guys, and I'm at 16%. So there you go. Combat ready. Fully upgrade a weapon. You will find benches as you go around, and you will use the scrap that you find to upgrade your weapon. But you also need to find tools to get you up to level 3. There might be a level 4, I cannot remember. So you need to do that and upgrade one of them. Just upgrade the revolver, guys, if you need to. Cheapest one, so that's probably going to be the easiest. I think it takes about 250 scrap to upgrade the revolver. Break into every locked door using shivs. Now, shivs you make or find in the game world, they are very limited. There are a few doors around the game that require the use of a shiv to open. Now, shivs are a good way of killing clickers. So you need to make your decision. Do you want to open a door or do you want to kill a clicker? Prepared for the worst. Find all workbenches. Like I say, these are where you upgrade your tools. So you need to find those. Open all safes. So each safe has a code. The code is around the general vicinity. It could be a letter you've picked up. It could be spray painted somewhere. So good luck finding those, but they're not too bad. Or you could just look on Google, because you don't actually have to see the note to open the safe. So if you look on Google, that will tell you. Sharpest tool in the shed. Find all workbench tools. That's what I was talking about to upgrade your weapons. You need to find those to be able to upgrade your weapons fully. Okay, and this one. Build them up, break them down. Upgrade and then break one of every melee weapon. I think there are 5 types. You have a bat, you have a piece of wood, you have a metal bar, you have a hatchet, and you have a machete, I think. So you need to use your scrap and tape or whatever to upgrade your weapon to one of, like, put spikes on it effectively, and then hit somebody with it till it breaks. Do that with each one of those, and there you go. Fallen Firefly. Find a Firefly pendant. Simple. Self-help. Find one training manual. Savage Starlight fan. Find a comet. Comic. Geared up. Craft every item. So there's 6 or 7 items that you can craft throughout the game. You'll get the ability to do this as you play, more and more. Just craft one of every type. In Memoriam. Pick up Frank's note after it's discarded. which is something I didn't do, and I should have done because I'm an idiot. So, when you meet Bill, you find a note from his ex-partner Frank. So, once Bill has read that note, he throws it away, and you can pick it up. And I should have done that, but because I'm an idiot, I didn't. Lights out. While in stealth, turn off the spotlight generator in Pittsburgh. So this area, guys, you've got to get through a certain section to turn off the light without being spotted. You can reload the checkpoint to do it. Ride the sewer contraption with Henry and Sam. Simple as it sounds. Ride the sewer contraption. Leave Ellie hanging after a job well done. So this is in the dam section. So as you're going through the dam section, you will do certain things, and eventually you'll come to a point where Ellie says, "High five." So ignore her and be a twat. Pet Buckley the dog. Again, this is in the dam section. When you see the dog, go over to him, give him a nice pet. Nobody's perfect. Play the Jack X game in Left Behind. So in the arcade, play the game. Brickmaster. Win the brick throwing contest. So you have to aim bricks at a car while your friend, I forget her name, she's doing the same, and you have to break all the windows in your car before she breaks all the windows in hers. Again, if you do it wrong or you don't think you're going to win, just reload the checkpoint. Defeat Black Fang without getting hit. This one again is in Left Behind. I'm not actually 100% sure about this one, guys, because I didn't play through all of Left Behind. So I'm going to bow out and say I'm a bit of an idiot for this one. Skills. Win the water gun fight. So you and your friend, you have a water gun each, and you have to run around and beat her in the water gun fight. And the last trophy on the list, use bricks or bottles to lure an infected into attacking a human. This is easiest done in Left Behind, where there is a section in the mall where humans and clickers and the like are all hanging around together, not doing much. But if you throw something into the middle of them, they will all come together and start dancing. It's very pretty, very nice. But yeah, that is it. Left Behind, no, Last of Us Part 1. Whether you like the idea of the remake or not, the game is still great. You know, Abby and Joel's... Abby's my sister. Jesus Christ, guys. Ellie and Joel's journey across America. They take the scenic route. So yeah, after those monumental cock-ups in speech, I'm going to leave you, and I will talk to you soon, guys. Keep getting those trophies. Bye.
All right, we're back. Just want to touch base the trophy that Sid was talking about, where you have to throw something in for the clickers and the guys to fight each other. There's two sections. The first section, I threw a brick into the middle of them, and it took like 2 minutes for the trophy to pop, because it's not actually you have to get them to fight. You have to wait until a clicker kills one of the hunters, or the hunter kills a clicker. So one of the characters has to die before that trophy will actually pop. So just heads up on that. All right, let's get back into this. Now, I have two articles for the topic of the week, but we're not actually going to read the articles. We're just going to have the conversation. As you guys know, Microsoft is in the process of purchasing Activision Blizzard, and there was a lot of controversy or not controversy, but there was a lot of talk about whether or not Microsoft would allow Call of Duty games to stay on the PlayStation. So initially they said that they have no plans to remove it. A recent story has come out saying that Microsoft has only offered Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty being on PlayStation, the proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take the amount of impact of our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. That was a quote from Jim Ryan. That's coming from the fact that a story came out saying that Phil Spencer said that Call of Duty will only be on PlayStation for at least 3 3 more years after the contract ends. Now, before we go into this conversation and fully dive into it, I want to call into question the wording of the statement. Because a lot of people heard 7 years, a lot of people heard 30 years. We're under the impression that Microsoft would never pull Call of Duty off of PlayStation. But if you listen to the wordings, and I'm going to read it again, it says Microsoft has only offered Call of Duty to remain on the PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement ends between Activision and Sony. Now, a lot of people are hearing, oh, Call of Duty is only going to be on for 3 more years. The way I'm reading that, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, this is saying that they're committed to keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation for 3 years after their deal ends, and we don't know when that deal ends. That could be next year, that could be 10 years from now. We don't know that. So, the topic that we're having is that Jim Ryan is calling out Microsoft for pulling Call of Duty off of PlayStation, and he feels like that is a major loss to the Sony platform. So, with that being said, I'm going to open up the floor, and there's going to be other points I'm going to bring into this conversation, but just on that right there, because Jim Ryan is calling Spencer's offer, quote, inadequate. Alex, we'll start with you, sir.
Well, when the deal goes through, it's Microsoft's property, so they can do whatever they want with it. And I'm honestly, I know that Call of Duty generates a lot of money, but I am tired of people being like, Call of Duty is this giant titan, and the rest of the video game industry isn't enough to stand up. It's like the only fucking game that matters in the industry when there's so many good games and so many important games that come out every year. I'm tired of everyone acting like Call of Duty is like this linchpin. And if this is Sony acting like if they pull that pin and they don't have access to Call of Duty, then they're gonna fall the fuck apart. It's ridiculous. But Microsoft doesn't have to pull Call of Duty off of PlayStation. All they got to do is offer it for free on Game Pass. That's all you got to do, and you're offering the better experience or the cheaper experience on your services, and that'll convert some people over to your services instead of them playing on the PlayStation. And that's all you got to do. They'll still make money off of what happens on the PlayStation, but they have the better experience on Game Pass. And yeah, and this can always be renewed. They can always extend this, but
all right,
Jim Ryan acting like the world has fallen because they may not have access to Call of Duty is fucking bullshit. Come on, it's a game. It's one game series. Well, it's more than one game. I mean, they got Warzone and all this other stuff, which, I mean, they could always keep Warzone on multiple consoles and then make other mainline Call of Duty games exclusive to the Xbox. But again, I'm tired of Sony acting and wailing like their entire business model is completely dependent on Call of Duty. Get out of here. This game series is not that important.
Okay.
Get out of here.
I'm going to just interject here because, Alex, you kind of touched on it already. The next article was saying that Call of Duty will become part of Xbox Game Pass, but it's going to launch on PlayStation on the same exact day. So they're already confirming that Call of Duty is going to be part of Game Pass.
Everything they own, every new game that comes, Starfield will be on Game Pass day one. You don't even have to confirm, that's just going to happen. Every single game, Halo Infinite, Forza, Psychonauts 2, all these games were free day one, and all of the games going forward will be free day one on Game Pass because anything owned by Microsoft will appear on Game Pass. You don't even need to confirm it. That's just what's going to happen.
JT?
So for me personally, it doesn't affect me because I have everything. But I mean, again, it's going to be like Alex said, it's going to be Microsoft's IP, so they can do whatever they want with it. But they are upholding the previous agreements, whether it be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We don't know how many. Did they say how many years it was going to be?
Initially, Microsoft said that they weren't going to pull it off. Then a story came out saying that it's going to be on PlayStation for at least 7 more years. The recent story is that Phil Spencer said it's going to be on for at least 3 more years after the contract ends, which I just look at the wording of that, and that doesn't say it's only going to be there for 3 years. To me, that wording says after the contract ends, we're committed to making it 3 more years after that. Now, I could be wrong. I could be misinterpreting that wrong, but that's the way it sounds to me.
Well, the way I look at it is, it's going to be theirs. So, the moment that contract is up, it's up to them. However, I will say that Microsoft does lose a lot of money if they just take it off PlayStation. Like, they just yoink it. They say, you can't have this anymore. They lose a lot more. They lose a lot of money.
Well, to me, they're losing all their money because if they yank it off PlayStation and it's going to be a part of Game Pass, they're making no money on the sale of Call of Duty.
Yeah, so like
that doesn't make sense to me at all.
That makes no sense, but I do believe that it's theirs. They can do whatever they want, but even if it doesn't make sense. But I do believe that they will eventually. That I do believe it'll be on there for a while. So.
Yield.
I mean, we've said this when they first started the process of buying Activision, that it's their property now. They can do with it whatever they want, like it or not. So, I mean, yeah, you can be upset, but at the same time, if you love it that much, then switch. I mean, it's their property. They don't have to make it a multi-platform. They can make it a console exclusive. So I wouldn't be shocked. At the same time, that comment, well, I mean, it also seems like that Jim Ryan wasn't going to make a comment until he was just going to keep things behind closed doors. And then supposedly Phil Spencer's comment went viral, and then he's like, okay, well, this is our response. But it almost feels like he's saying that, oh, if we lose Call of Duty, oh, woe is us. I mean, I know you don't want to be like kind of screw you to the gamers, but at the same time, I think Sony will be fine if they lose Call of Duty. I mean, everybody already knows that Microsoft has the better server infrastructure than Sony does. It's better to play those kind of not combative, but
online.
It's better to play those type of online games through Microsoft. Everybody knows that. So I don't know. Maybe because I don't have a pony in a race, I really don't care.
All right. Well, the other part of this that I want to bring into it. First, Matchy says he believes my interpretation of the statement is correct, but Matchy says Sony doesn't like it when someone can outspend them for exclusivity. And see, that's the other point that I was going to bring up in this conversation, is that a lot of people are calling Sony, and especially Jim Ryan, a big crybaby, because how long did Sony keep their games exclusive and not allow it to go to Xbox? But the fact of the matter is that until recently, and I'm not throwing shade, until recently, Microsoft really didn't have any in-game studios to make the exclusive games. Sony for the longest time...
Yeah, they only had 5.
Yeah, Sony for the longest time was making their games in-house and releasing it for exclusivity on their system. Microsoft is just jumping in the game now with making their games quote-unquote exclusive. I mean, don't get me wrong. They had Halo, they have Gears of War, stuff like that. But Microsoft moved away from that in the exclusive rights, so to speak, when they said that all our games are going to come to PC as well. And from now on, all our games are going to come to PC. So for the longest time, we didn't have access to Gears of War and Halo unless we owned an Xbox. But in that same time frame, Sony was releasing Infamous, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter. The list goes on. Like
Uncharted.
Right. So to me, like, Call of Duty is a powerhouse. Let's just not, let's not even like pretend like we don't understand that. Call of Duty is a fucking powerhouse. And if it was yanked off of PlayStation, yeah, it's going to do a major blow to Sony. But as Alex said, Sony will survive. You know what I'm saying? They're going to survive, but they're going to lose a major part of their revenue. Matt G in the chat says Sony paid for third-party exclusivity, and when they couldn't, They paid for exclusive content, i.e., Destiny weapons and exclusive Strike. I mean, yes, Sony did, but let's also not forget, didn't Microsoft pay for a year exclusivity for the Tomb Raider sequel?
Yes, they did.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just Sony doing this. This is Microsoft did it as well. But I'm not gonna say like I agree with Jim Ryan's
statement. They had to rely on a second party deals since they didn't really have the first party studios to pump out exclusives. So they had to rely on people like Square Enix and all those other companies like Bandai and Capcom and all them.
Yeah,
otherwise they would be long gone.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to defend Jim Ryan and what he said because I think that him coming out that actually weakens Sony's stance. Like it's making them.
He sounds
look
like a
bad.
crybaby. You can call it what it is. He sounds like a crybaby.
Look at
Nintendo.
But hold on a second. Yes, it's called. He's making a look like a crybaby, but that doesn't mean he's wrong though. Let's be real.
Well, you don't have to be wrong to be a crybaby though.
I'm sorry, Alex. You were talking. I apologize.
Look at Nintendo. You may say that Nintendo is in their own world doing their own things, but they attract people to their console, and they're still very successful based on the specific games, the exclusives that they make from their first-party studios. Sony can do the exact same thing. And are we really expected to believe that more people play Call of Duty on PlayStation than on Xbox?
Yes.
They do.
They do? Is that simply because there's more PlayStation?
Evidence to the contrary that PlayStation has more sales, yeah.
Because
of the exclusive content, probably. But yeah, there are more people on PlayStation.
No, because even when Microsoft had the exclusive content for Call of Duty, it was still being played more on PlayStation than it was on the Xbox.
You mean the 360?
It was the 360 days. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Those were the only days where they had that right, and I believe that the 360 had more player base.
I think you're wrong. I don't know how to Google that, so I can't confirm it.
There were less PlayStation 3s in the wild
until the end, and then PlayStation.
Yeah, but that happened when the next generation was out, and nobody counts that.
All right.
It's already the next generation. It's already the current generation, PS4. PlayStation 3 is pretty much not talked about anymore.
All right, so Alex, I'm sorry. You were making a point.
Microsoft has more money to spend than Sony. We know that. They just have a ton of money, and if they want to buy up, if they would be allowed to, they could buy EA today, and they can handle it. Sony can't. And yeah, that sucks. But Jim Ryan coming out here whining about all this and making the company look worse, make smart purchases. You're building, they bought Savage Game Studios. They're working on mobile stuff. They've got support studios for their big studios. They bought Bungie, which they are keeping multi-platform, all their games going forward. So they're filling holes in their strategy, and they're overall getting a better business strategy. But you can't stop Microsoft from doing what they're going to do. All you can do is worry about what your business model is and the studios that you have. So do that. Sony's been successful for those reasons. So continue to do that. And if Call of Duty goes away, that's not your call. It's Microsoft's. Stop whining about it, though, and acting like Call of Duty is the only video game that matters in this world when you have a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, a new IP that sells over 20 million copies. So stop coming out here and crying, Jim Ryan.
Did it sell over 20 million?
It did.
All right. But he's pretty much just said out of the blue, like with this statement, I don't believe in my first party because Call of Duty is everything. if you want to take it in that interpretation, that's another thing you can interpret it as that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's
you could he pretty much just said like
don't take Call of Duty
God of
from
War,
us, please.
God of War Ragnarok is nothing to Call of Duty. Call of Duty is everything. But it's like he has no faith. But if he really wants to, just make a first-person shooter, man. Like, if you really are that deprived and make a first-person shooter that can rival and don't fail like Killzone did.
Well, they have Bungie and they have Destiny now, and Destiny, from what I have read, when it comes to revenue, grosses the second
It's
amount.
huge.
For a shooter, it grosses the second amount of revenue behind Call of Duty. So
Yeah,
you've
but
already
the
got
only
the
reason
number two.
why that it's like that is because it's cross-platform.
But still, I mean, you have that, and the reason that Microsoft and Call of Duty, like the reason the way it is for them is because that's also cross-platform. So I mean, they're both multi-platform.
All right.
Like, so I mean, they already have a shooter. They don't need to worry about it. Bungie is the shooter studio. They did Halo. They did Destiny. So Sony doesn't need to make another shooter. They can just let Bungie handle that. But Sony just like crying over spilled milk over this entire thing. Like, it just annoys me because it doesn't recognize where your strengths are and where you're strengthening your business. It just focuses on what your rival at Microsoft is doing, and you can't do. If they want to buy something, they're going to. And then all the trade commissions around the world are going to decide whether it's going to go through, yay or nay. You can't do anything about that. So just worry about your business model and stop crying.
Okay,
Alex,
hold on a second,
wait.
JT. Hold on a second, JT.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. So, an article coming from GameRant.com has listed the top 16, the 16 Call of Duty games, and the top 12 have all sold over 10 million copies. I'm going to run through this real quick. Infinite Warfare sold 13.6 million. Black Ops 4 sold 14.3 million. World at War sold 15.02. Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4 sold 17.28 million. World War II sold 19.82 million. Advanced Warfare sold 21.76 million. Modern Warfare 2 sold 25.02 million. Black Ops 3 sold 26.72 million. Ghost sold 28.98 million. Black Ops 2 sold 29.59 million. Modern Warfare 3 sold 30.71 million. And the best-selling Call of Duty game is Black Ops, which sold 30.72 million. So
No Call of Duty 2 or 3?
Well, I didn't list the other four. If you want me to list the other four, Call of Duty 3 sold 7.2 million. Call of Duty 2 sold 5.9. Cold War sold 5.7. That says within its first month. I don't know if that's a official number. And the worst selling game of all time was the original Call of Duty, which only sold 4.5 million, which is still not nothing to shake a stick at.
Well, what was I gonna say before? God damn it!
Also note all these sales figures are across the consoles. This isn't like PlayStation sales or Xbox sales. This is everything combined.
I have what I want now.
Okay.
Sorry, can I say what I was gonna say?
Absolutely.
All right. Alex. So Jim Ryan. So I don't think you know this, but the casual gamer isn't someone who buys the first party. It's someone who buys Call of Duty, Madden. Like, they only buy one game.
The
That's
pro
all they do.
gamers.
That's all they do. That's literally most gamers on the PlayStation and Xbox. They buy one game and that is it. And basically they're worried that, and it is also rightfully so. They're worried that Microsoft is going to take all of those casual gamers that are making the money.
All right, Yield, you want to say anything about any of this?
No.
Okay. One last comment because we are getting a little long. From the chat, Matt G says, "Crying Ryan is speaking under the guise of hurting their players, but it comes more off as a big whiny baby."
Yeah, when both of these companies have done numerous things to keep certain games and certain content off of the other's platform, you can't cry about this. Like, this has all been part of Sony and Microsoft's strategy for generations now. So stop crying about it. You have paid money to keep content, at least for a time, off of Microsoft console, and they have done the same to Sony. So you doing this now and crying about it makes you look bad, because this is the video. This is where we've been for years now.
All right, we're gonna move on. And I'm very sorry, but I did this out of order. But we still have to do.
Time to check my social media. Yeah.
So 2 quick questions from the Facebook chat. Sid wants to know, how you doing, JT?
I am doing good. I just moved into my new apartment. I mean, cottage. It's not an apartment. It's pretty big. It's 2 stories. It has the bedroom's in the basement. So I've been living in the first floor, which is the dining room and living room area, because I can't move into the bedroom until the people who do the carpet lay it out, like come in and install the carpet. So it's doing good. I'm learning how to live on my own because I've been living in my parents' house for a really long time. So it's about time.
So you were the stereotypical gamer living in your parents' basement.
Well, no, I had a full-time job.
No, I
could have moved out. But like with all the things, like I was supposed to move out in 2019, but at the end of 2019, but that's when COVID happened, and that's when like that type of market started crashing, and I was like, I'm not moving out now. I gotta wait.
All right, and the other question is coming from our Twitch chat, coming from Matt G. I just lost it. Where the hell? Oh, okay. He says, when do you guys think we're getting a PS5 Slim? Alex, we'll start with you, sir.
I mean, I guess the trajectory has been kind of thrown off because they haven't been able to get as many PS5s out as they want. I mean, usually it's kind of 3-4 years in. I would say halfway through the life cycle. For this generation, I would say halfway through, maybe 40% of the way in, 4 years, we'll get a slim version.
Yeah, we're
4 or 5 years.
We're 2 years in now. Yield, what about you? When do you think we're getting a slim?
All right, then I'll say 4 years.
I'm saying 3 to 4 years from now.
4 years from now? Oh, okay. JT?
All right. The question isn't when are we getting a slim. The question is when are they going to roast us for the 8K Pro?
That's a fair question too. All I'm gonna say is, when they do come out with the next version of the PS5, I really hope they put the optical drive back into it.
I just hope that we're able to use. I hope that they allow us to use like external external
SSD.
NVMe drives or some shit, because like the way we have to put in the hard drives now, it's just obnoxious.
Yeah, but that's no different than what we had to do on the previous consoles. You had to open it up,
Well,
put it in.
No. You could put in you could plug in an external hard drive on your PS4, and Xbox. You didn't have to go in.
No,
you can't.
Yeah, you could have always used an external, but to change the hard drive in the inside, you've always had
you
to
had to
open
go
it up.
in, obviously. But why would you do that if you could just buy an external? That's my point.
I think they're more worried about the games running smoothly with the PS5 games because they're so big and whatnot that they're more worried about you using the right technology than you go out and buy, because people are going to try to find the cheapest external drive and it may not be able to run their games as smoothly, which would reflect bad on them, which makes people come out and say, oh, my PS5 can't run this game.
That would be awkward. So my answer for his question, which I didn't answer, I just went with another question. I'd say like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see them in 2024, 2025.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we also got a pro version.
I think we'll get the pro version before we get the slim now.
Yeah, I think so too, because they're gonna roast us for money like that. That's something like.
All right, this show is officially over 2 hours, and Alex hates editing shows over 2 hours, so I'm gonna close this up. Let's do some shout outs.
You can make it 5 hours.
Listen, you talk. You talk to Alex and Yield about that.
You and Tricky can hang out. We're taking off.
Yield your shout out,
that
sir.
24-hour show for Extra Life.
No, yield your shout out, sir.
Shout out to JT for coming on tonight. Shout out to Alex and Tricky for recording. Shout out to everyone who was hanging out in Twitch chat tonight. Matt G, Nitro. And as always, shout out to the Pimps and the Madams of the Whoredom. Thank you for downloading, listening, interacting, hanging out with us. Shout out to my fantasy football team for going 1-0, start the year. That's it.
JC, your shout out, sir.
Shout out to you guys for having me on. Thank you. Shout out to all of the community. It's always great to chat with you guys, especially when it crosses with the Loop Bros as well. That both communities are fun. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alex?
Give a shout out to the community, the listeners. The fuel to the fire of the Trophy Whores are our heartbeat. People like Matt, people like Nitro, even people like JT. Thank you all for continuing to push us onward and upward as we get closer to another milestone. We're getting close to 550 here.
Jesus, wow, my God, I keep on forgetting that.
I say that every morning. I got to go to work, like most people probably. But yeah, thank you all. Give a shout out to Tricky and to Yield for recording tonight. A shout out to JT for coming on and having a good time with us as he always does. Shout out to my Kentucky Wildcats, which I mentioned our football team went into the swamp and beat the Florida Gators. 12th ranked Gators.
SEC.
Yeah, we were ranked number 20, and we're going to go up after beating the number 12 team in the nation, I think. And a shout out to Konami, who got a shout out for, or at least got some love for me for the Cowabunga collection, and the Castlevania Anniversary collection is also very good. I talked about a lot of the frustration with Castlevania, but let's be real, fighting classic monsters like demons and death and vampire bats and mummies and Frankenstein's monster, like, it's all super cool. And to see how like all the monsters that they've crammed into these games over the years, it's especially into Symphony of the Night, which unfortunately is not part of this collection, but it's just fun to fight the monsters, even if it is kind of like a war of attrition where you're just mashing the buttons to try to take off the health as fast as you can before they kill you. And then it's all worth it once you like get to to Dracula's lair, because you've gone through the castle and then you take those steps upward towards his lair. You got the crescent moon in the background, a nice little picturesque scene before you go fight him. It's fantastic. I love Castlevania. So and last but not least, I want to give a shout out to my awesome and loving girlfriend Ashley, who, like I said, It Takes Two with me. There was some frustration, when you got two people who don't typically play the same style of games. I love platformers. Ashley's not big on platformers. There can be some headbutting, but we got through it. We had a lot of fun. We enjoyed that game. And if you didn't see it, like I said, I posted a bunch of pictures, like 30-something pictures from our adventure, some of our favorite pictures, in the Trophy Horse Facebook page. Please go look at that. And even without context, it's not really going to be any story spoilers, because that game is just so wacky here, there, and everywhere. You can't nail it down. But yeah, shout out to everyone, especially to Ashley. So,
all right, and I'm gonna forego my normal shout outs just to say that today my fix that, Alex. Don't let that be in the final. I'm going to forego my normal shout-outs in lieu of just saying that today marks the 21st anniversary of 9/11. And my heart and prayers go out to everybody that was affected 21 years ago. As a New Yorker, I was not in the city when it happened, but I got very homesick and came back to New York. So my hearts and prayers goes out to everybody that was affected that day. It's a day that I will never forget, and I cherish every year to remember their memories. I did have some people that I lost on 9/11, and with that, if there's nothing else, until next week, happy trophy hunting.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.